it work for you. Coin is for the spending. If you scatter it, then you'll reap the profits of the seeds you've sown. What do you know? Look, I turned it into a throne. We do what we do to keep the water flowing. The more you give, the more it keeps growing. I don't want your gifts, I don't want your charity. I just want to see some other love and prosperity. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. I make my living by the sweat of my brow, the strength of my voice and my lyrical know-how. I work hard, I spend freely. I'm not rich, but damn, am I dearly placed to think of virtue and preach it to the masses. The fruits of my labor I use to fill glasses. Life is for the living is the message I'm selling. The scent of success is the aroma you're smelling. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. Hold fast, 'cause it might sound funny, but the truth is wealth's not just about money. It's the push and the pull and the give and the take. It's the things that we share and the joy that we make. Give me your attention, I'll give you my time. Lend me your ears and I'll fill them with rhymes. I'll give you words to make your soul burn and take your breath away in return. Yeah. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. 18 rings, 6 coins to my name, but with 18 rings then I can change the game. Flip them over, turn them around. Oh shit, look, I turned them into a crown. Make it dance, make it work for you. Coin is for the spending. If you scatter it, then you'll reap the profits of the seeds you've sown.
Work now, isn't it? So
all right, I'm going to tweet out when you're live as well. So that's
we are
we live now.
Yeah,
right. Okay. Wow, that was casual. That was a casual start.
They really are. We did. I did one where it was Justin was on, and he literally dug himself a hole because he was talking about someone sucking him off at the time, and he was literally, that's how we started the stream. It was just like, oh. So we're live.
Well,
here we are. Welcome. So yeah,
and that's how you do trade.
That is a professional strem. Welcome. You can all now do trade. Go and see Chris in his tent, and yeah, make some money.
Yeah.
Okay, now. So yeah, we're all here. Welcome everybody. Hopefully there are no technical issues. I think we've been a few streams now without really any technical issues. So yes, exactly, Josh. Wow, what a start. I thought you'd be used to those by now. But yeah, we're here. We'll go through, and you never let Justin forget those things. You can't. He needs it in his life. So yeah, so how are we all doing? How are you doing, Chris? How you doing, Alex? And how's things going? How's lockdown?
Go ahead, Chris. I don't know what kind of latency you're looking at there. I'm waiting for you to speak first.
Okay. Well, as a non-professional streamer, I'll give it a whirl then.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, life's good. Work, it carries on. obviously missing the to an extent the socialization on the LARP field, but hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, so we can.
Yeah.
I say can only hope. I mean, blowing the dust off all the kit that we tried to find before this stream. I was going to say there's some stuff that had some mud on it that really shouldn't have had mud on it. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, like I'm mainly concerned that we're just gonna lose stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that. Like I was looking over it today as well in our storage too, and yeah, I just hope that everything vaguely comes out in one piece. Gonna take some serious prep days, I think. Like as in like spend quite a few days like going through kit and getting it ready for when we eventually do get back to LARP. But yeah, I mean, I mean, everyone's. I'm gonna sneeze in a minute. I'll tell you that. I got a real sneeze coming on.
Excellent.
I think everybody's really, really hoping for an event this year, and I hope that it does go ahead. I think that it's going to be really difficult if it doesn't, because
Yeah.
I mean, everyone seems to be expecting it at this point.
Yeah.
Which I remember last summer when numbers were at a much more of a lull and everyone was feeling a bit more happy and safe, and it was like maybe we'll get one this year. Who knows? Like, but we kind of understood when we didn't. This year I think it's really going to break me if we don't get another one. Because it's such a great hobby, as we talked about it before ages ago on Steve's stream. Like, it's just such a great hobby and such a great holiday. I think I'm really missing it as a stress decompressor, definitely.
Oh god, yeah.
But today, we're going to be talking about the trading and economic experiences, I will say, because I'm not going to say we understand it at all, really. It's just how we've interacted with it, and how Chris...
Yeah.
So Chris is a member of our hall and also has been in the trading game of Empire since it started, right? You've been playing
since E3 year 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. So almost immediate... So he got in the boomer years, as it later would be known, when Ilium was as cheap as a pint of ale.
E1.
Well,
I think they were calling us.
Exactly. I don't think Chris quite got in at that bit, but the some of the other early stories of how the trading and stuff looked back then is just mad to think now. I think we had a talk about this, Chris, but we were talking about the inflation rate of Ilium, and we're like, it's worth like 4,500% of what it was, or something like that.
Oh, it's unreal. I can go to one area of the field and buy it for the equivalent of maybe a throne or a couple of thrones, and then go to the other side and people are selling it for 7, 8, 9 thrones a piece, and you're there going, I've literally walked 150 meters.
Yeah,
there's like a massive disparity.
But each camp is like its own microeconomy, though, right?
It really is.
So right, just for clarity, Ilium is a very expensive, very prized material for creating all sorts of things, for running enchantments, for rituals, for it's basically I don't know, I'd describe it as like the magical diamond, Ilium, I guess. How would you think of it, Chris? It's
they describe it as star metal, don't they?
Star metal.
Right, okay, yeah.
Star metal.
So incredibly rare, incredibly precious. In the actuality, which we might go into later, I'd actually say, whilst it's a fun, pretty, it's not actually as useful as the other major like components, like wains of weirwood or white granite, and the things you use to build castles and fleets and things like that.
Yeah.
Ilium is like
a vanity project.
It really is. Like, you can do some really cool stuff with Ilium. You can make enchantments permanent. Not enchantments, magic items. Again, this is a pet peeve of mine. I don't really know why they call them magic items in the system and don't just call it an enchantment, because to me that makes so much more sense. But
could you turn your mic up a bit, Smith?
My mic?
Yeah, they're saying you're a little bit quiet.
Up. You might need to turn me up on your end. Am I as
no
loud
one
as
has.
It'll go?
Nobody has ever said Smith's quiet.
Check on Discord. Can you right click on me and increase my volume there, or is it already at 200%?
No, I've got you at 100. Take you up to 1.
Put it higher that way, and hopefully it'll come through on your stream a bit louder. Or am I quiet for you in your headphones as well?
No, you're fine for me.
Fine for me.
I've turned you up
much better.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay.
I have turned everything up a little bit.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop the rant about Ilium. I'm going to stop because you can just go into all sorts of stuff.
I think realistically, if we're going to do it, we need to start small and work our way up to those.
We do. So what I'll say before we start, we aren't experts on how the system is meant to work. We are just going to probably tell you about how we've seen it work and how it worked for us. If you're looking at the beginning of this seminar, this TED talk, the kind of results we can show you, I reckon we are in the top 10 richest player groups in the game now. What do you think, Chris? You've probably got a better picture. I'd say we've at least been there before we started investing in all these national projects that show zero yield.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's very much different ways of doing trade. Everything from your own little personal game to, if you're part of a group, the bigger game, to more of a nation game, to then an empire game as well. It all there's such a large disparity between, I would say, 90% of the field. Then you've got 90% of the field about this level. Then you've got about 9% at that level, and then you've got 1% at that level.
Yeah.
So it's quite similar to the real world then.
It's funny how that works out. Yeah. Pretty much. I think like Chris says, there's also there's these interesting things happening even now that you don't want to talk about too much because people have their machinations and the things they like to discuss on the field. There is, in a sense, cartels to consider as well. So like a purchasing power within a cartel changes. For example, I mean, technically speaking, the way that I really started trading with Chris and how we started playing together was I essentially joined his personal cartel where I sat on a boss seat for him. He gave me a small cut of that for doing that and running that boss seat. And then eventually he died, and all of the people in the cartel beneath him, or the people that were holding boss seats, sort of scrabbled for whatever was left of the empire. I got like a season's worth of boss seat resource production, which again you might not know what that is, and that basically set me up for life. And then Chris came back as a different character and joined our group anyway and helped us run it from here. So it's sort of like we took Chris's expertise and I ended up getting the finance element of it, and it's just like bam, let's do it. But what happens is you get really wealthy that way. Anyway, let's talk about
well, give me a second.
Go on.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. I told you I'd be like it's just so much to talk about that it's hard to go on.
Steve.
Steve.
Go on.
Steve, isn't it? Yeah. Just checking.
Yeah. I'm totally frazzled now. All right, this has happened. It's already happened like that.
What a dick. Right, so I just want to say thanks Nexus for raiding. Thank you Bungle for subbing. Thank you George, I think that is, not Goldhawk, for subbing as well. 4 months, you crazy bastard. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we're talking about going all the way back to the beginning of we were saying about Novent and stuff like that. Exactly, Mike, because I am Steve. There's a
I was going to call you Hefty, if I'm honest. That's what I was going to say, and I was like, wait a minute, I've never called him that before, ever.
No, never.
But I just saw it.
It's like other people when they call me Mac. It's just sort of like, well, so I'll rephrase that. When Humes talks to me, he just calls me Mac. So, but yeah, we've got HeftyCon. Amazingly, we're going to Dadford Road. We're actually going camping Dadford Road at the end of next month. 30 of us.
Yes,
So
that's the original site, wasn't it?
no, that's the site we're currently at.
Is that the site now? Okay.
Yeah. So we're actually going camping there. So
You couldn't choose anywhere closer to the south.
so yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it's just at going to Anvil, so we're going to go and do that as well. But
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, money wise for you two, because I mean, obviously when we first met Chris, he was Achilles, wasn't he at the time? So and he paid me off with some bear claws, which was amazing. And I remember, I think we were chatting. We were at the like a carvery type thing, and I was doing stuff, and you just gave me some ilium, just one piece of ilium, and it was just sort of like so overpaid there, Smith. It was unreal.
Well, I mean, that is Chris's sort of nature, I think, spilling over into his characters a bit there. I remember at the time just thinking, bloody hell, like, don't go around making these giant promises to everybody. But yeah, no, he gave you quite a lot of money at the time.
But no, that was, the ilium was
can I point out it was a lot of money to him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but the ilium was from you though, Smith. You gave me ilium.
Well, I probably at the time, I imagine, I remember it happening.
You
I
probably
don't
thought
really
it was
remember the specifics.
probably
I
thought it
was
was
like,
Welsh
oh, I
silver.
better look as though like I'm generous too, and just be like, here's a block of ilium.
Yeah. Either that or you got it mistaken for Welt silver, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite
Anything is likely.
quite possibly.
Anything
That
is
is within the
likely.
realms.
Yeah, but no, as a whole, we're actually flying. I think we're involved in a hell of a lot. So for those who don't know, so me, Chris, Alex, we're all in the same hall. We've also got Trot as well, and there's a few other people as well in the hall too, and we are all doing. I think we're all doing really, really well to just. We're keeping our fingers in a lot of pies. So thanks, Blood Pressure, subscribing.
Losing
Awesome.
track of the pies, though, if I'm honest with you, like that's like I actually wanted to talk to you about this. Who the bloody hell in the Navarre did we give money to fund an army? Because I remember that quite distantly. It was the event where we had to dig like a moat or a ditch because the flood of the flooding.
Yeah.
But there was some Navarre who came over looking for funding for an army. I don't know who that was, and we need to find out who that was because we can't not get the result of that, the prosperity of that, because like
I believe it was the senator for Hasinia.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you remember.
Yes, either that or there will be, or it's another person who I think I know who. Well, I know who it is out of character, and I'll be able to go and find him in character. So. Yeah,
but yeah, that's the kind of pies that we're trying to invest in. So funding armies, we paid for at least half of the Great Connect or whatever they're calling it in the Brass Coast. So they needed that funded. We funded part of that. We helped with, well, we built there's like some crow's nest, or I want to call it. I can't quite remember the name of it, but there's a thing we built in Wintermark or helped build with money. Entirely us, which allows a seer to like basically see things in the territory. It's this incredible sort of like radar we basically got, which is really, really cool, and it's a really useful and good way to actually spend the resources that we're playing our game to make. So yeah, those are the pies that we're in, which is really awesome. That's one of the best. Like the trading and the boar seat stuff and the auction house stuff is really fun. But when you get to build something as well that then changes the game as a whole, that's like really awesome and kind of the point of it, I think.
I think we've got, in relation to the trade, we've got quite a good dynamic there, because obviously as my previous character, I was very much big boar seats, multiple boar seats, big empire level. And when I died, which was, as far as I'm still concerned, a spectacular death, I was quite happy. I obviously gutted that I died, but also amazing the way it happened. That I've come in and
let's face it,
but
a rubbish death.
Oh, you say that? I mean, either way, it was. I think the funeral was epic, so I was quite happy with that. However, I will say that when I came and joined, obviously the group, so that it didn't seem like all of a sudden I was just the same character. I'm the same person, just with a different set of threads on, so to speak. It is very much I've left the boss to Smith, and I'm very much focusing on more of the favor side of it, the low level stuff that is really not stressful in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
it's such a good laugh, especially helping a lot of the newer traders who are coming over, knowing the reputation of our hall and some of the other places. They're coming over and trying creating a bit of game for people, going, you go and get this for me and I'll pay you this much extra. So it's sort of putting a bit of money in, and it's hopefully giving people game that and allowing people to access an area that maybe they're struggling to get into.
Yeah,
which is
that's the good thing about the hall, though, is that with Smith as our Thane, and you're like the co-founder, aren't you, of the hall? So we're not going to go too much into what the hall is and the family and all that, because come and ask us in the field. At the end of the day, so
I'm basically his conscience. That's about it.
Yes, and then I mean you've got I think Helen as our hall steward. She's our hall steward, isn't she? She's our number 2. She's doing a really good job with that, and
potions.
And yet she's our head apothecary as well. She's getting a lot of icy mail coming through about that, which Mac has happily intercepted and read. Not that I should have done, but some of the letters we've been receiving are truly amazing. But yeah, I think Smith has received a shitty letter off of Yana as well. So if you can, there was probably 2 years ago now. I think it was after the last game, but
yeah, we're gonna need to do like a catch up at the beginning of first game or something, or pre this, when we were talking about maybe doing something before this event, like before the next event sort of thing. We'll have to go through and just like have a big talk with everybody and see what's going on, because people are bound to have missed things. We've bound to have forgotten certain things. But yeah, in terms of looking at the question, somebody put in chat about how do you suggest a new player start trading?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
So very, very quickly, this was kind of like personally my trajectory as coming from a completely fresh, who didn't really know anyone on the field apart from sort of their friends, you know. I got into it. I started. You get a basic resource generation. I presume you know that you get. Let's say you have roughly a throne and a half in your pocket every event when you start. First thing you can do is buy low, sell high. So you literally walk around all of the camps in every nation and go, "Hi, is anyone looking to sell any resources?" And that they say yes. You say, would you take 17 rings for it? And if they say yes, you give them the 17 rings and then take the resource. Then you either go around saying, hello, have you got anything to buy, sell or buy, resource wise, and then only ever sell it at a crown, which is 20 rings. And that's generally considered if somebody, like, if you need resources and a person says, I'll do you any resource at a crown a piece, you're like, fair. Like, that's kind of the benchmark price. So that's one way of doing it, and eventually you'll start building up more and more capital. Obviously, it's quite slow going, but you will eventually be able to then do more things with that money, buy larger items, larger resources that may have a bigger margin. One way that I did it, after doing a little bit of that and realizing how long that would probably take, I saw a lot of people selling actual things. So you essentially turn real money into fake money in game. So a lot of people spend that on baking things, is a very common thing. So people will go around and sell like flapjacks and cakes and brownies and things like that. You can charge like 5 to 10 rings for a piece, easy. Sometimes a crown. Like, I'll happily pay a crown for a nice piece of cake, definitely. You know, that's one way of doing it. And that way, there's no like. Will. Yeah. Well, I won't need to when you buy like 400 pieces and put them in a tent.
I was gonna say,
So that's another way to do it. I personally did it with beef jerky because I find that there's too much sweet stuff on the field already, and a lot of the times I'm not interested. You offer someone something savory that's like quite nice or substantial, then they're much more likely to buy it, and I charge a higher price as well. But like, I was spending like 60 quid a time, 60 quid an event, you know, just on the ingredients of the beef jerky to make maybe 6 thrones, which is a decent amount of money. Like, you know, that's enough to buy a top end magical item or something like that. You know, I was happy with that. But then one day, Chris was walking around for some trading reason, and he came to my old hall's tent and said, "Oh, I'm looking for the alderman, who's like the head of trade in our nation." And the alderman was a bit busy and said, "Oh, why don't you talk to my sort of," I was sort of his unofficial apprentice, I suppose, at the time, sort of wanted to get into the trading game. And Chris started talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, you interested?" And I was like, yeah, I'm really interested in the trading game. We just started talking about trading in general, and he told me about how bourse seats, or basically national resource production, they are auctioned off. A seat that controls a certain amount of, like, a certain mine or a certain forest or a certain something or another, that will be sold each year for control, and you take the production of that seat, and then you can use that to either sell or build things. And you can only hold one of those. So a lot of very wealthy people, like Chris's old character Achilles, have several assistants or under people who will essentially take that imperial title on, run that seat and things for him, but then give him the lion's share of the goods, because he's given that person all the money usually to buy that seat. And that is essentially what I became. I became a custodian of a seat that Chris funded. That gave me a couple of wains of materials each event, which I could then make 10, 20 thrones from an event, you know, and that meant I could do more, buy more, make more on little bits of margin. And then eventually Achilles had the good graces to go and die whilst I still had a season of production left on this seat. And so I got like 22 wains or 24 wains of production one event, and that was it. You know, I had the equivalent of a couple of hundred of thrones worth of materials, and from there we just grew and grew, and then Chris eventually came back as another character who joined on with our haul. Obviously there's certain in character and out of character considerations you have to make there, but quite simply, Chris knows how the game works from playing it for a long time. So we understood. I mean, I'd already learned a lot of what he taught me before he passed away. But there are certain great ways of doing it, which is what I've kind of explained to you. So the next level on from, just to finish off, the next level on from just trading and selling things is find a person who's already high up in the economy gain and come and see us, because we're always looking for people to take on certain things when we have the capability to give people imperial titles and things. Right now we're still we've probably got it covered right now, but that is something that hopefully after the next few events, when we start getting things rolling again, we can do for people. So yeah, that's it.
There is one rather large area which you will be funding for two of the most important people in your hall as well, which is obviously me and Chris.
Right.
We are obviously going to become, I think if Nina comes back, she's going to be our boss, because we are obviously going into the drugs game, and we are looking to buy that boar. We need a specific boar seat so that we get all of the twilight that comes into Anvil.
Well, yeah, that sounds great.
That will all then come through to us, but we need someone in charge of us, someone responsible, which is why we spoke to Nina about it, and she was then going to be in charge of it all, because she's not going to take it, and she'd be able to have to keep it hidden from us, because otherwise we'd just take it all and we'd be gone in a day. But yeah, that was another plan there as well. So, but we thought it was quite good, and there's is it Harlequin, one of the League egregores?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to buy in on it as well. So we were contemplating taking his money and then just buggering off with it. But that was another option too.
That's another
I reckon
way of trading.
I imagine they might be able to track you down.
Yeah. I was going to say, that is also...
Yeah.
I mean, people will often look at it and go, this shouldn't be condoned, but I see theft as a thing.
Yes.
The amount of times where people will leave in-character coins on a table or something like that. I've seen people have stuff lifted and things of that vein. But obviously, I would say there is absolutely no better substitute than constantly walking around that field and listening to what is going on in each nation.
Yeah,
exactly.
How I used to make a lot of my money to begin with was I go to Navarre, for example, and they go, right, we need mithril for an army this season. And then I go to places that I knew had mithril seats and go, what do you need? Oh, we need, for example, some white granite. Now, at that point in time, I knew white granite was, let's say, worth 2.5 thrones a piece. So I go and do that, and I trade probably 1-for-1 for the mithril, because that's what they needed at the time. And then I take that mithril and go to the Navarre and sell that mithril at 4 thrones 2, for example. So I'd be making 2 thrones profit on every single Wayne. And you can do that. And I'm obviously I'm looking at the bigger stuff, but it's the same with the lower stuff. For example, you've got a lot of places like Dawn. They need metals galore because they like their fancy armor. They love their weapons and all that sort of thing.
It's a shame they don't like common sense, though, isn't it? Really, in Dawn.
I will say that I will say that having played a Seneschal in Dawn, they are an absolutely fabulous nation to be a part of. I will say that they are. I mean, you can do that, but I've done Urizen, I've done Dawn, I've done Wintermark, and you know what? Every single nation is very different in the way they play, and I respect the hell out of each one that I've been a part of, because they're all playing their brief, I think, very well.
The one nation that I think really is undersung is Varushka.
Varushka are unbelievably wealthy.
Have you read their brief, though? Have you read that brief?
It's really cool. It's about monsters and the forest and darkness.
It's essentially, think The Witcher.
Yeah. It's basically a cooler Wintermark. This is the problem with Wintermark not being Norse, is I don't think there's enough of a distinction. Like, I'm completely with both of you here. Like, I've read the same thing, and I'm like, and there's loads of really great kit in Varushka as well. Like, you know, like they're a really good nation. Like, The only problem for me is they're not distinct enough from Wintermark for me to sort of. I feel like if I went from Wintermark to another nation, it's going to have to be distinct enough to be worth the change, if you know what I mean. Like, kit wise, like I don't really want to like. I mean, yeah, but no, I love Varushka. The brief is awesome.
The kit stuff. I was having a chat with Pete. He came on and we were chatting through it all. The kit is incredibly different. Incredibly different. I mean, not you're not looking as bright as the League, but the kit is really different. So I'm gonna actually have to invest in some different kit. Like, so going Navarre and Wintermark, my kit's pretty much the same, but Varushka is absolutely incredible. So that was a lovely tangent though.
But just very quickly going back onto the last bit of the trade, you can literally sell anything.
Yeah.
For in character money. I've seen people, as Smith said, I've seen people sell cake. I've seen people. In fact, there was somebody who was going around selling a rock and pretending it was a pet, and people were buying it.
Pet rocks.
Me and Chris bought one each.
Yeah, I was going to say there was literally a guy who put googly eyes on a rock and was going around selling them for like £2 a piece, and they were selling like hotcakes.
They're brilliant.
It is very much a niche. It all depends on the day. If you've got the gift of the gab a little bit. Yeah. And you get someone who's maybe a little bit tipsy or something of that vein. I mean, the Bourse auction's amazing. I love the Bourse auction more than anything. The public auction, sorry. Where you've got everybody from all walks going, yeah, I'll bid on that, I'll bid on that, I'll bid on that. And then at the end, it's all booze. It's all like just random stuff that you think no one in their right mind would buy. And there's like, I can't remember what it was. I think somebody made literally a wooden stick about that long and carved 2 eyes into it and literally called it Stickman or something like that.
If you can come up with a good joke or story around something. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say to a new player, though, just carve some eyes into a stick and bring it to Empire and you'll be
No, that's not. But no.
I'd say that there's nuance and story, but as long as you're right, if there's as long as
there's
a story or a
behind
joke to it, or like something that just goes, that's fun, or you put a little bit of thought into this, like fair enough, you know, like.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I remember the wettest man in Anvil as well, which I found really funny. A couple of events ago, when it like chucked it down just like once during the whole weekend, it flooded the hell out of some of the areas, and a guy was like just swimming around in one of the puddles, and then they toured him around the event saying, please sir, arms for the wettest man in Anvil, arms, like as in like, can you spare a couple rings, he's so wet, we want to get him dry. And it's just like this guy walking around just covered in like wet mud and just being like, look at me, I'm just like, that is pretty funny.
We've had some good things are coming through in chat. So like Bungle is going to make some maple and bacon fudge.
Nice.
What was it?
Although that'll still go well. I'm always dubious. I mean, this is coming from a guy that sold beef jerky,
and it was yours was delicious.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Like,
I bought loads.
I'm a little bit dubious about like.
I never got to try it, but
meat being kept in a tent for a period of time.
Oh no, bacon and maple fudge. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I know, but it's still got bacon in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Foxcar's got a new hive, so they're bringing honey. To Anvil. Someone was making leather stuff to sell as well. There's loads of stuff.
That's highly sought after.
Yeah. John's asked a good question here. LARP is already an expensive hobby. Do you think there is a large element of being able to splash more cash OC means more money IC? What would be the advice for making money IC for OC cheap? Cakes.
I was going to say, I mean, cakes is something which is usually quite profitable. I mean, realistically, you don't have to get anything OC to make money IC.
No.
You get money or resources depending on your resource that you get at the start of the game. Like, for example, if you were to get a mana site, you get 7 pieces of mana, and I think towards the end of it, mana was the most profitable thing on there because you can sell it for, let's say, 2 crowns a piece. So you get 7 bit, that's 14 crowns. That's 1.5 thrones worth of stuff. But you could trade that mana for materials and increase things bit by bit. And like, you could sell all that mana at 2 pieces of 2 crowns a bit, 2 crowns a piece, and then go with that money, find someone who's got loads of mana, and then buy it at 1.5 thrones a piece, and then go back and sell it to the other place and at 2 again. So
well, hold on. You've just sold one at 2 crowns and bought another at 1.5 thrones, Chris. What kind of deals are you doing?
1.5 crowns. Sorry, 1.5 crowns. So you know what
So
I
you're
mean.
sacked
So,
then. Why are you here?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
No, to be fair, he usually catches me out on stuff like that. To be fair,
he took great joy in that.
Yeah, I did. I'm like, he's messed this up.
So it is very much a case of, like, for example, I could do 30,000 steps in one day on a weekend, going from place to place to place, listening. We need loads of this.
Steel.
We need loads of this. We need loads of this. And you know what? A lot of the time, it was putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And you know what? And it is hard work. It is. I took a lot of hard work into that. I mean,
it is I mean, it's not easy. It's probably not going to be easy. Like, put it that way. It's something that's great that if you engage with it, it will show dividends. You know, because certain elements of the game you can engage with it as much as you like, and sometimes you just don't progress like as much as you want to. You know, you don't get to that part of the game because reasons. But I think with the original question of IC investment, I think that you can invest money into something, like, for example, the custom label design I got for the brown bags that said Ulf and Grim, and then the same event, I bought that to the event, my character Ulf died, so I had to change the name. You can invest money into something, but ultimately it's not going to decide the entirety of how well you do. You know, people spend loads of money making shit cake, and I don't go back to buy that cake, you know? Like, there are things like that you got to think about. You could spend a lot of money, but if something goes wrong or something you're doing is not actually that good, then it's a very holistic thing. It's not really about money in equals money out. You have to get a few of the elements right.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said earlier, you hit the nail on the head. The whole point of LARP is the role play side of it. People go there for the role play, to that escapism.
Yes.
And if you turn up with something, it doesn't matter if it's cheap or anything. You put a decent story behind something, you will entice people in, and you'll be able to sell things and make deals for in-character things, out-of-character things. And it just, I mean, as you point out, somebody can come up with me with a tray of, a massive tray of cookies or something like that. And I'm there going, as a whole, we want to be hospitable. I'll buy that entire tray. How much is it? And you can just see the panic in someone's face as they go, I have not done the maths to work out how much this entire tray would be.
Do you remember those two lads who came around selling the elderflower wine? It was their first event, and they had, I think they had 4 bottles of elderflower wine. And they're saying, we're just going to do this. And we bought all of it. Yeah. They said, they came up to me at the end of the event and said that we made, well, to be honest, you two made their event, because you bought everything, and it meant then that instead of them walking around trying to sell it all, they were only able to walk around, buy other drinks, buy food, and do all of this. And it meant that they then bought like 2 demijohns and about 12 bottles of that stuff to the next event. So it really does encourage people as well, which is really, really good.
I think a few of the more experienced players now, I mean, Empire's been going, what is it, nearly a decade? I mean, I was Achilles for 7 years, and I've done a couple of years since then. So it's nearly 10 years old, I think, Empire.
Yep.
And some of the more experienced players, it sounds silly to say, we haven't won the bourse or the economic game, because you can't ever win it, sort of thing. But a lot of the joy I get now from the game is not the bourse, but seeing the excitement in new players' eyes when they come over and go, we'd like to do this. And I'm going, okay, I'll buy all, like I say, it's just something that for us is quite small, but it'd be like, I'll buy all of that, but what I need to do is go and deliver this message and find this person. So it's getting them out, encouraging new people. And it's not just us. I know we're easy to talk about this, but there's plenty of players in the game that we can be a bit lazier. We can go, actually, we don't want to go and find this person. So I tell you what, I'll pay you this to go and do it. And eventually you don't need to do that after you've done a few errands, so to speak, or you've gone and, like Josh, he's our guy in our hall. I've got him very much into the trading game. He can go out and do it himself now. And he's actually, I think last event, a new player came up to speak to him about trade, and he ended up asking them to go and get a staff of Imperial Mastery and said, I'll pay you this much for it.
Yeah. So
it's just almost like an avalanche of, let me, a little bit of goodwill to begin with, kind of spreads out. And like I say, it's about everyone having a good game and enjoying themselves. If you're walking around an event just trying to sell things, it may be a great game for you, but certainly not for me. I mean, at least a little bit of time you want to spend with your mates, socializing.
At least a 20-minute tea break in the middle of a 14-hour
Absolutely,
day. Yeah. I mean,
But it is.
It is ridiculous though. Like sometimes
is,
if you
yeah.
get too into it, like you're walking forever, and you just think, when am I gonna stop? Like I don't eat at some of these events sometimes because I'm just constantly doing stuff. It is a bit of an overload, but yeah, geez. Also, like unionize money is what I would say. Like if you're a hall or if you're a group of friends, or even if you've just met some people that share your interest of like, oh, I'd love to be able to get into this part of the game in terms of money, put your money together and then go to one of the bigger players and go, hey, I've got like 10 thrones here, like me and like 10 people, we've got 10 thrones, can we buy a share and a boss seat? And 9 times out of 10 they will say yes, because that's nothing to them to give you a bit of game. Like, you know, they give you 10 thrones worth of reward. Also, it'll get you like probably twice, like I'd say 10 throne return easily. Like, like it'll make you some money. It like that is what I would say. Sometimes it's not really worth players who've been in big money players getting involved with people when they've got a few crowns or something that they want to do. But you get to sort of the 10 throne mark, and you know it shows that you've tried to consolidate cash and you're trying to do something essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a bloody job interview, doesn't it?
That's what I'm sat on at the moment. I've got I was going through my chest of things, and I've got 10 thrones sat in there at the moment. And
hang on, when were you going to declare that?
Well, you've been selling a bit for Ilium.
It just wasn't.
Didn't you sell some Ilium recently, Steve? Is that
more than likely. It depends what I've nicked.
Right.
I mean, it's like
they actively have admitted they steal from us regularly.
Yeah, me and Chris nick from you two all the time. Anything that
as long as we don't notice it. It won't be missed.
It's so funny though when we do it. We have actually stolen from you, Smith, and you have been sat in front of us.
No, the coffers just keep refilling. I don't know how it happens.
You're welcome.
It's really funny because I think we were there talking to you about drugs, and you were saying, we need to do that. We
in character drugs.
In character drugs, yeah. And Chris actually, as he put his finger on a throne and just slowly slid. He was literally just like there and just slowly slid it across the table towards him, and then he just dropped it into his other hand, and it was going like, we nicked like 8 thrones in front of you.
Smith, come on.
That funded.
I just figured it's just like, well, they probably need it for something. I mean, as long as I'm using it for something.
It bought our drugs.
Right. Okay. Well, the thing is, right. I like this drug idea because drugs aren't necessarily illegal in Empire.
And Matt P loves icy drugs as well.
It's an interesting idea.
They're never going to make money off it because the amount they ingest.
Well, yeah. I mean, that needs to come back. But I mean, I was just happy for another revenue stream. I'm like, this sounds very interesting. Yes, let's get into the drug dealing business. Like, just as long as you guys do it, like you're like kind of like dirty business guys, you know. Like,
and we've got basically plausible deniability.
Yeah,
that we've got with you guys.
It's not illegal, so it's good. Yeah. No, it's not Goose Whisper. Unfortunately, you have to come and find out what this one is. I see.
As a bit of an example, though, I will say. Obviously, some of the bigger players, say economically bigger players, they are going to be quite busy at the event sometimes. So please don't be disheartened if, for example, if they go, listen, come and see me later, because it generally means that there is a lot of stuff going on, especially early doors. And I think 7 and 8 o'clock, you've got the auctions, and 3 o'clock on the Saturday, you've got the auctions. I mean, for example, as Achilles, I began to hate my name. Because, I mean, Smith was there.
How bad it was. Yeah,
I couldn't walk anywhere. Every time I walked, it was Achilles.
It's like being Tom Cruise, except you're walking around in mud
with
and
horns,
people want your fake money.
Massive horns, yeah.
Yeah.
And to the point where I actually walked into a bar and I paid everybody to leave and then bought the bar and shut the tent flaps behind me because I just wanted like half an hour of peace.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for that, it cost me like 5 thrones, which... And to go on to the trade thing, I'm assuming at some point you want us to talk about the actual Empire currency.
Oh yeah. I'm sure we'll get to that. Yeah. There's no, it's not Byte either. Gaming Nemesis, and no, we do something else. There are other drugs out there because there are game devices so you can deal with other nations who have a lot of different things and a lot of other influences that you can get involved with. I'm aware of one that's coming up, and this is an in-character thing, and so I don't want to say it here, but I will let them both know after the stream because there are two big things that I need to let them know about, and they're going to potentially bring some really good things in for the hall. And one's going to be hilarious, and the other one's just going to be, really good for us. So, but I'll let them know that one later. So Smith sent me loads of photos of like the currency, the resources, and things like that. I took a load of the stuff from the wiki as well, but I haven't bothered using it because this shows a nice range of everything as well. Because there's none of the what's the paper one called?
You've got Mithril, White Granite, and Weirwood.
Waynes, that's the one. Yeah, there's Waynes there as well. So, and they go for fuck tons. They can do anyway. So
yeah.
Or nothing. Those the couple of the photos I sent you had a picture of a couple of the Waynes in it. There's a watch of one.
Well, let's see
if we start from like the lower level, like say resources, or do you want to start with the currency?
It'll be whatever picture comes up first when I put it on there. So let me have a look.
I'm so nervous.
Okay,
there's no picture I sent you that I'm worried about. But...
So Smith, how many rings are there in a crown?
20. I'm not going to forget this stuff. This is
how many rings in a throne?
Oh God, I don't know that. There's 8 crowns, so 160.
There you
160, go. Yeah.
I have to admit, I was there going, "There's 8," and it's like, is it 8?
It's dumb. I mean, again,
it is.
Like, I love this game, but the way that the currencies, non-decimal. What's with that?
Like, 20 rings to a crown.
Yeah.
8 crowns to a throne. And you're like, what? Hang on. Yeah.
It's just like,
but God. You know what? I love it because, I mean, one of the basic tricks of the trade, so to speak, is going up to somebody and going, I'll tell you what, I'll buy that off you for a throne. And they go, no, I want a bit more than that. I went, fine, 150 rings. At which point they go, oh, that sounds better. And I've just knocked 10 rings off my original price.
I don't think, again, your mileage may vary with these trading tips from Chris Gallen tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are gonna be coming to Empire with a stick with eyes on, and they're just gonna be I give you 150 thrones, final offer. You know, jeez.
Oh man, I'm so wealthy. Why? I've got 7 sticks here
with eyes.
This is my mum.
Don't if you put those sticks in the auction, you never know.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they were nuanced enough, if you're a good carver or something, and 100%, give it a story. A family of disenchanted twigs that used to be alive, but now unfortunately they lay dormant.
Smith, you like this? So why is it 8 crowns to a throne then, Smith?
Somebody knows this, don't they?
Yeah. Ignore chat.
There were, I don't know, is it like Lord of the Rings that there were 8 crowns and then 1 throne to bind them all or something?
Isn't it the virtues?
No, it's the original
7
nations.
virtues.
No, the original number of nations, because others of them weren't 1.
Yes.
There we go.
But I just said it, so you don't get any points for it there, Chris. Nice try though, Mr. Let's Trade in Wood.
There we go. Weirwood. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Right then, let's see if the images work for me.
That was a good bit of trivia though.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of trivia.
Right then. So hopefully they can all still hear us, and there's some pictures come up there.
Oh yeah, so this is the last picture I took.
Is that a £1 coin?
Yeah, I wanted to give scale because in another photo there was some other coins, but yeah, this one is that's a £1 coin on the right hand side. On the left of that coin is the lowest denomination, a single ring, and the biggest denomination, 100 thrones.
And is that a shoelace or something in the bottom left?
I don't know what that. No, that's the string from the bag that the coins came out of.
So, do I get points for knowing that? Yes, you do get points for knowing that, chat. Well done, you. Right, okay. So this is the next one.
Yeah, this is just the minor resources that I had.
Yeah.
Steve, can you name them? Let's see if Steve can.
There you go,
them.
Steve. Come on.
So
top
start with the top left, the bottle.
No, give me 2 seconds. Let me load up the wiki.
I
don't know what these things are. You got? Is it
none of them? Do you know what any of them are?
Green iron, amber.
No, strange enough, you've named the one that isn't there.
Excellent. That was my plan all along.
Okay,
if you had to
Steve.
guess which one was
Steve, name which ones are not there.
I can't even remember the one I said
Green
just
Iron,
now.
you've
So
done
there
it.
we go, Green Iron. So there you go.
What? No, there's another one. There's the one that's the butterfly farms are all about.
Iridescent gloaming.
Iridescent gloaming. That's the one. I can never remember the name of that one.
So
That's not
what
there
have we got
either.
there? So we Beggars Lie,
Yeah,
Vegas
top
lies
left.
in the top left.
Beggars Lie,
Yep.
You got
Tempest Jade,
one in
Green
the middle,
Iron,
the green one.
Orichalcum,
Orange one,
Bottom
and
left.
Dragonbone.
bottom
Yeah,
right
Welt
corner.
Silver's the one in the top right.
Welt Silver's top right. Orichalcum is there,
Yeah,
and
Welt Silver.
obviously you got Green Iron, which has got a sword down the middle of it as well.
Yeah, so
there's-
Ambergelt's missing, Ilium's
Yeah, missing.
missing.
For the purposes of people who haven't seen all of the image, like each one of those have their own individual markings, so you can identify how many each one of them is of the actual resource. Like, for example, on the Beggar's Lie bottle, on the left hand side, if you turn it sideways, there's dots. If there's one dot, it's 1 unit. 3 dots is 3. 5 dots is 5. And I think that's the scale. It's the same as every single one of them. The Dragon Bone goes from 1, 3 to 5. It's got V's on it. The shield and the tiers for the Welt Silver and the Orichalcum, 1, 3, and 5. You'll see the tiers or the shields increase.
Yeah.
But the ones that you've got to be a bit more careful with are the Tempest Jade and the Ambergelt, because they looks like just a mass of a little mass of rock, but they've often got like little lightning, like the Ambergelt's got little lightning marks on it, which you've got to feel with your thumb to realize how many there are units in it.
Yeah.
So that's
And did you
say-
explain that these are submitted to God to make magical items? So
Yes.
say you want to have a sword that gives you the ability to impale or shatter or something like that. You would take a collection of these items based on the recipe requirement. Each magical item has a different requirement of these particular materials.
Yeah.
And then you would submit these to God. If you're an artisan, that is, and then the artisan would then make that item over a period of time, and you could pick it up the next event in the form of a ribbon. You would then tie that ribbon around your weapon, get it bound to you using the back end thing that the refs do, and then you have a magic item. But that's basically what those things are for.
So, for example, like Staff of Imperial Mastery, that's a one that everybody knows. It's the big item of staffs. It's 7 of every single one of the materials that we've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you'd have to give 7 of each material into God at the end of the event, and then in your downtime, click on the thing that you want to craft as the artisan.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, should we go for the next
So
one?
do you have? Take.
Yeah, it's all the coins.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the coinage laid out. You got 1 ring, 5 rings. Again, 5 rings. I guess kind of works because it goes into 20 sort of. So you got 1 ring, 5 rings. You got 1 crown, 4 crown, 1 throne, 5 thrones, 20 thrones, 100 thrones.
Yeah.
100 thrones are quite new into the game. They've only been released in the last year or so. So they are still quite rare to get hold of.
Yeah. Yeah, they're quite big and chunky as well.
Yeah, they're very impractical, but they're very fun to have.
Yes.
And this is more stuff laid out. So along the bottom there, you can see an example of just a simple ribbon you'd normally get that essentially makes your fizz wrap a magical item.
Closer.
And then you've got examples there of the notes, the promissory notes, essentially, that represent the wains of certain good. So a wain of good it could be like a wagon load of white marble. It could be like each of these represents a large amount of that material. But because it is quite large and bulky, that material, it's usually traded within the empire using these promissory notes. And then these will then go on to be submitted for great works. So when you want something really cool in your territory built, it'll often take hundreds of these. And a boar seat, that seat that I was telling you about earlier, that imperial title, generates these notes. So once you buy that, usually for anywhere between 200 to 400 thrones, once you buy that title, each event you attend over the year, you can show that, it's just a chest of stuff. Each event you attend over the year will give you a yield of a certain number of those notes. on average between 80 to 100 of those notes a year. So if you can imagine that one mine in its entire year's production can only generate 100 of those wains, and most great works require, hundreds and hundreds, it requires a lot of coordination and saving and a lot of money. Like, this is what's crazy about Empire is, yes, there is this division in wealth and a division in personal wealth, but ultimately the people at the top are the ones putting in just like our hall has probably contributed 500 thrones worth of money to the Empire in terms of building things with no return at all. Like, we went from a hall with 1,000 thrones in net worth to 500 after like 2 events because we were building things, and that's what it's meant to do. But that is something that frustrates traders at a top end, I will tell you, as a little bit of insight. We feel as though we're contributing a gigantic amount sometimes, and there isn't really a system or process in place for recognition of that. Yet. So we'll see. There may be some sweeping reforms coming to the trading system. Who knows? Not by PD, by all the guys at the top, by the sounds of things. People at the top, I should say. It is fairly mixed, although probably not as mixed as it could be. Anyway, that's me done talking for a minute. Go for it. Sorry, I am aware that I ramble. Just put your hand up to stop me if you want to.
I can just mute you. It's fine. It's normally very difficult to do. But I'm gonna go back to something that was spoken about, because all of the traders and everything, they work really bloody hard to do all this. They walk around so much. I mean, Josh is a fairly fit lad, considering how much he smokes as well. But he comes back from doing a lot of trading, and he's just like, I need to sit down for 10, and he needs to take it easy. And it is nice when we do have all of that stuff all, because we're quite lucky as a hall where we have that huge 7-meter bell tent, and we have the thrones in there, we have the tables in there, we can all sit in there, and we can just close everything off. And I think we've only ever done it once, maybe twice, where we've all gone in there and just sat down and chilled out, because that is something that's really difficult to do in the field normally as well, because normally people are coming there and asking for you to, so it does make.
That's why we need our mega gazebo.
Yes, that's our next purchase.
We need our next. The war chest is getting raided, and we're going to get a decent one for outside, hopefully, so we can have a welcoming chamber as well as a central.
Yes, hospitality is a big thing. I would say to any new traders, a lot of the time, you can go to nearly anywhere on that field, and you will be offered a drink. You will be offered some food. And please take the opportunity, preferably non-alcoholic, because people do not look after themselves on that field. So a lot of the time, you'll see people who are just really dehydrated. They are sunburnt or sunstroked if you're lucky enough to get some nice weather. Or you can see them just sopping wet because they've got nowhere to kind of cover themselves. So please try and take the opportunity while you're out and about, especially if you're trading, because you're walking around for hours, to sit down at a table sometimes to just have a conversation with someone, just to give your feet a rest.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, definitely. But there's so much money and deals to be made. It's really interesting sitting there and listening to everybody saying, well, you've got this, we've got that, we'll do this, we'll do that. Because I haven't got a bloody clue half the time. I really, really don't. And it's... in an in-character, I just have to say, oh, I'm not interested, I don't know what's going on and stuff like that. Out of character, I'm sat there listening going, this is actually quite interesting to listen to. And it's why I have delved a little bit into trading, and I do turn up with stuff. I think I find herbs is the sort of stuff that I normally turn up with a lot of. And then I steal potions. So I admitted that one on a stream as well, and Helen nearly killed me. Because I was going through my box, and I've got like 15 potions in there. I've got so much stuff, and she's just like, so why am I giving you more? It's like, because I want more. It's like, but you don't need more. It's like, you always need more. Always need more. It's like, have you seen how often Smith goes down in a battle? It's like, he needs as many of these bloody things as he can.
Honestly,
potions, we'll call him a yo-yo.
Potions and herbs are the most... Potions, herbs, and minor rituals are the most underrated and underused thing in the game. Like, I really think that, because they're like, before every fight, we always get all our rituals done. Like Helen's always got like a ton of really good potions ready to go. And when we're out there, I'm chugging potions constantly because we're using heroic calls and spells and things like that, and we're making a really big difference on the line, in that combat line. And all because we've like gone like, right, let's make sure we got a ton of great, like, it just makes you so, and then you get the rituals done. So you get like, there's a really cheap ritual that allows you to use Unstoppable twice a day for free. That means you can, once you're down, you can just get back up again. Obviously there's the rules, but essentially what it does, allows you to get back up again in a fight, which is just so good for like 6-7 mana. So yeah, no, I'm all about the herbs, all about like that stuff. I don't buy them very often because I don't know why. It's just a natural thing when you start got into trading, because you never felt there was enough margin in them. There's certain ones that are super valuable that are quite a lot rarer. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're filling your pockets with herbs, basically, Steve, because we get through them.
There's a guilt, I think, that comes with herbs. There's almost like a guilt thing attached where you can see people going into a battle, and it doesn't matter if you're IC, OC, because you can see people really worked up, really excited for the battle, but you can see like people that you're gonna know are going to go down at some point. And
what, the one? The buckler and a t-shirt.
Yes, the buckler and a t-shirt, and you're there going, like, I mean, I've got these potions, and I'm here trying to flog them all because I've paid a couple of crowns for the herbs. And Helen's been awesome and turned it. And sometimes you just go out and go, you know what? Here, drink this, or here, take this with you. And I would say that that's probably why. I mean, some places are profitable with herbs and potions and stuff like that, but it's something that I've spent 7 years trying to sell. And basically, maybe I'm just completely weak on the inside, but whenever I've got potions, I don't have any in my hand, even if I haven't sold any when people go to battle, because I'll just walk up to a group at the end and go, here's the 10 potion I was going to sell. Just go and use them.
Well, it's ultimately what it's meant to do. I think if we encourage more commanders and more just people just to be like, hey, look, spend money on potions, like, because ultimately the price of herbs is dictated by the demand of potions. And so not only will that make the entire empire more effective fighting on the field, but it'll also generate money in terms of the value of herbs will go up.
Have you done anything with a hospital before?
Yeah.
Have you got anybody I mean, we donate to the hospital quite regularly, decent chunks of herbs, but I'm just wondering if you, like, because they probably have a better understanding of herbs than we ever will. Because
we have a share in a magical herb garden that
we do,
Mage bought for us in the Autumn Realm, which is just really cool as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the hospital's always, you can always help the hospital, can't you? Basically, it's always looking for stuff.
If you're ever seeking good role play, there is nowhere better than that hospital.
Oh no, it's an amazing place. Absolutely,
it's amazing. The people in there are outstanding at what they do.
There's a great photo of me having surgery done at that hospital as well, and it's literally just me screaming at someone. It's absolutely awesome. Porigen's asked, is selling Elixir Vitae potions at the gate before a big battle a good idea, or do people not bring their money along?
People, it's a risk. It's a risk-reward thing at that point, because a lot of the time people won't have the money.
They don't.
Yeah, a lot of them won't. Nah.
Yeah.
A lot of the time they won't have money, but they'll make promissory notes saying, I'll bring it back to you and I'll give you a crown for letting me take it into battle, or I will pay this much if I come back.
Yeah.
And you're there going, I'll make a profit if they come back, but if they die, you've lost your potion.
A better strategy would probably be to go around the night before a battle, find out which nations are fighting, go around the night before to their camp and say, hey, I'm selling potions. Like, because if you came up to me an evening before battle and you were offering potions that are decent, like obviously you got the health and the mana replenishing ones and the heroic,
what's the anti-venom if we're going up against the Druge, for example?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it really is based on, again, as Chris was saying earlier, whatever's going on in the field.
Yeah, you need ears to the ground going, oh, hang on a minute, Navarra going up, oh, the others are going against the Druge. So you think, like, well, the one place they're going to need a lot of poison potions is going to, the anti-venom potions are going to be Urizen. So I'd stock up, go over and just flog as many as I could over there. Again, right place, right time, listen and move.
Yeah, John's asked, do you get people walking around selling mage bloods? I remember I had 10 mage bloods on me at one point because I came across some poor innocent Wintermarker who was dying in the corner, and he bribed me with lots and lots of potions.
Oh,
Did
that.
he bribe you, or did he go, "If you save my life, please have these"?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
And that was it.
that's not bribery. That's begging for his life.
Yeah, what I said,
both.
yeah, I did. Oh, man, yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I don't really know what came of that, but ultimately, yeah, there was an incident.
Please don't ever do this in front of Tillian in character, because I'd be absolutely livid.
It was about 40 potions, I think. It was an awful lot of potions. It was a king's ransom in potions that I paid to some beleaguered beggar or something. Anyway, yeah, the potions. I mean, Mage Blood especially is great if you, like me, like having mages around that have Staffs of Imperial Mastery, aka people that can just do every single spell, which is what we sell and make, and is another really good way of making money. But we like Mac organizes our military unit when we go out and fight. I always like to have a mage nearby that can shatter things and heal things, and then that way we have mage blood, which is like 3 mana replenishing potion. We just fill them full of mage blood. Like, you know, I'm not sure what the IC rules are on I've drank 55 potions today, but like Trot must be coming out of these. Trot's coming out of these battles, throwing up strawberry milkshake mage blood everywhere because he's had so much of it by the end of the fight that.
Go speak to a ref. There's every chance they'll give you some sort of trauma.
You can ask for it. You can ask.
Yeah, but as I think
I've had so many traumatic injuries, I don't want any more.
I think someone's put in your chat. I think it's Doom in there. Something we haven't mentioned is Lao.
Oh yeah, I was going to jump on Lao.
Yeah,
I was just going to say
Lao is very much for the priests. That's very much something that they use for their voting and the religious ceremonies. But again, as he points in there, I've sold hundreds upon hundreds of Lao to people going up against the Druge wraiths, because to kill the wraith you have to do things with Lao, and you've got the exorcism squad that go out.
Yeah.
And I think one event I sold over 300 Lao, all of which I bought for like 7 to 10 rings, and I sold them all at a crown a piece.
Yeah.
Because
Joel's asked a really good one here as well. I'll be interested to hear your response to this. Feels like herbs aren't appreciated enough. As people,
they're not.
People expect us physics to bring ours and use them for free. Would you ever consider like tipping physics in the field and just saying, you've done this, I will come and chuck some money your way for whatever herbs you used and stuff like that?
I mean, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, it is. Again, it's very dependent, because I mean, for me, I've always, if somebody saved my life, like I've been saved by people when I was Achilles. Somebody tried to assassinate me, and they were disturbed by the Eternal Family in the Navarre who picked me up. And I think I gave them like something like 5 thrones to the 4 people that saved me. I gave them 5 thrones each. So yeah, they spent their herbs on me. And you know what? Yeah, I do think herbs are massively underrated, and people think, oh, there's loads of them and they cost nothing, so anybody can use them. Couldn't be further from the truth. If a physic lose their herbs, you've taken out one of probably the key members of any battle. So yeah, I think they're massively underrepresented, and I really do think that people should. I'll be honest when I say that there must be a way of physics almost paying for their services. So as a physic going to battle, I'll bring my herbs, but you need to pay me this to stay with your group the entire time. That's another monetary option.
This is something that, you know, people might try to address in the field by setting up some form of, for example, like a charity system. So you know, like a charity you could call, you know, something to do with, like, you know, support the physics, or physics without borders, or something like that. You know, like you could create. I'd say
vigilance, because charity is a false virtue, but vigilance,
vigilance or something like that, right? And then what you could do is you could go around the people's camps and say, we're collecting for the physics of Empire, and we are going to create a fund where they can draw money in a time of need, a little bit like the British Legion does for ex-veterans, for example. Like, you know, you could create something like that. Ultimately, the current reality is
we could take a cut.
Exactly, you could.
I will start this up.
No, you won't.
Exactly. Neither would I. But
no, you won't.
But what I'm saying is, right now, no, it just kind of sucks that physics have to use a resource that they bring to the game on other people out of the kindness of their heart, because there's just not a system or a culture in place that means that they get recompense for that. You know, you could even start. You could tell a priest to start lobbying that the Empire is not being vigilant of the prosperity of our physics. You know, you could say that they're not getting their just prosperity from it. There's all sorts of ways you could engage with that issue in game.
The priest game, I don't know, but you could literally get, as you say, a priest to go and put one of their notices on the board, like a declaration, or I'll be honest, I don't know what they're called, but they put them on the board and motion something like that. In the synod, where they go, this needs to be addressed. It's a point of order, so to speak, and I think that's actually something that could be set up, and it would take someone who's like whoever's put that in the chat, going in character, going, actually, let's try and do something which is completely different. Let's go to the hospital. Let's go to some like people like Langdon in the league. You go to, I don't know.
Langdon's in March.
Sorry, Langdon's in March. Sorry, you had like old Lorenzo in the league. You've got Hersal in Wintermark, the Eternal Family Navarre, Durandal Dawn. I'm just randomly
Hurst Hall and Wintermark.
I mean, they're about, I think, yeah. And then
right.
yeah, but and then go. This is what I'm trying to set up, and there's every chance you'll get a good bit of buy-in. And like I say, if it's something you're passionate about, try it. There's no harm in giving it a whirl, and if it fails, then you've given it a go, haven't you?
And
it's a good bit of game.
Pocketed a lot of money in herbs as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that I'm encouraging it. I am.
Yes, encourage it, but you're not doing it.
I could do it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No.
I could pass myself off as
no
someone important in the league.
No, you couldn't.
Perhaps wear a beautiful dress.
Even more no.
All possibilities. Yeah. All possibilities. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that you can do in game. There's loads of stuff that you can do to make money as well. I'm sure there's plenty of things that people just haven't thought of doing at the moment.
Yeah. As
well. So, but I mean, one of the big things that I've said the year I've been doing this is if you have something or an idea or you want a bit of an encouragement or anything like that, then come and find us. You can come and talk to us because we are, as a whole, we encourage a lot of stuff. We encourage a lot of growth. We encourage a lot of game. So it would be really good to see people turning up who are brand new, going up and seeing. I mean, I know a few people are going to be coming along to see Yana in the first game to go about the apothecary stuff. So there's lots of stuff. Does anyone know what the effects of bite are? Well, it's illegal and makes you angry, and it's caused murders in the field. I wouldn't recommend it.
Or you would. One of the two.
No, definitely wouldn't. Don't touch bites. Horrible stuff. So yeah, there's loads of things.
And the prices of things are very subjective.
Yes.
I'll add that very quickly. It'll like mana. I think somebody's put in the chat there. I can't. We don't want to sit here and like almost say this is prices for things because that's not right. It is demand, and whether you can meet it. It's that simple. So I say mana goes from anywhere from 30 to 40 rings a piece. I mean that's just basic. I mean all depends. At the end of an event, if people are desperate for it at the Reggio, you could probably get 2.5 crowns for it, even more, 45 rings and things like that. But I don't think it would be fair to sit here as a hall or as individuals that go to Empire going, this is what you need from every resource, because it is very dependent on what you need and what they need.
Yeah.
So, but I think, as Smith said earlier, if you look at and not a million miles away from a crown per the lower level stuff, you're not going to be a million miles away, other than obviously for mana and things like that.
Yeah,
I think you've also got to be conscious of not like ripping people off as well.
Yeah,
like,
you don't.
You know, I'd only buy things that, you know, if you're just going to a new player and going, I'll give you 5 rings for all that. That like, yeah, don't do that either.
No,
that's fair. It's not prosperous. It's not prosperous to cheat people.
No, and if you were to be seen cheating somebody by, let's say, someone who's a bit more established, there's every chance they'll bring you up to the priests and virtue issues, or they probably hire someone to kill you.
Or they just want enemies.
No,
there's enough enemies to fight out there already. You know.
Yes, we want to be looking out.
Get bloody Summer Suak back.
Yeah, we want to be looking out, not in.
Yeah. I have to. I will admit I have done my fair share of shady stuff when it comes to deals. I know we're all shocked. I am the pillar of the community. I mean, I had a brand new player come up to me and offer to sell me all of their herbs for a throne. And this is, I think it's 15, 16 herbs that you get straight away.
Yeah.
So I bought it because that was a really good bloody deal.
That's about 10 rings per, right?
15 rings, 15 herbs for a throne.
Yeah.
That's just over a ring per herb.
Huh?
No, wait,
15
15
like 10
no,
10 or
8
11 rings
like
per
10
herb. Is
it'd
it?
be like 10 rings to
10,
piece, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, so for true
It's
vervain,
still a really
that's
good deal.
Yeah,
True still a good deal.
True vervain, that's about right. Going on to things like Cerulean Mazarin, you're looking at £1 to £2 a piece, depending on what sort of battle you're about to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an incredibly profitable deal.
Yeah. So yeah, I did. Yeah.
Which surprises me.
Surprises me as well, because there's the Marcher's bar as well, where you can get a pint for mana as well, for 1 mana in there too.
You can get a drink for 1 mana.
Yeah.
No.
That's such a rip-off.
I know. I bought this is the other side of it. I've bought so many drinks with stolen mana. It's unbelievable in there.
But to the same extent, let's not take any business away from that place. If you've got mana to burn and you want to go get a pint, you go there.
Definitely.
Exactly. You pay what it's worth. I often go to my favourite bar in Dawn and give several thrones for the odd few bottles. You know, it's nice to be prosperous when you can. That was for a whole bottle of chilled prosecco, I will say.
It was,
come on, chilled prosecco on like the 2nd or 3rd day of a camping trip. Yeah, you're gonna pay a hefty premium.
That was Wolf's Stag Do, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think actually. Yeah, I think it probably was. I remember us all being on a long table.
Yeah, we never got to play Knifey Table either. That was sad. Sad times, that one.
Was it?
Yeah. I'll have to take you all out for bit of Knifey Table.
Oh, okay.
It's an experience. It's great fun.
Is it real knives?
Yeah. You have to
in character knives.
In character knives, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that you can do. I mean, in Brass Coast and that, some people will pay you for a song. Some people will pay you for a story and stuff like that.
They might not pay you for a song though.
No, God, no.
They pay you to stop.
Yes. Well, did you hear about me?
To be fair, I've never actually heard you sing, so it's a bit unfair. I just thought I'd,
it's not great.
Bit of banter, bit of ribbing.
But well, it's not the ribbing I'm used to from you.
Hey.
I mean, me and Chris, Mac and Grim, we were out and we were in the marches and we were selling invisible hats to them for a ring a pop.
Nice.
We made a couple of thrones, not crowns, rather. Sorry, thrones.
Jesus.
It's a lot of invisible hats to get through to get to the throne region at a crown a pop. I mean, we're running out of invisible hats, guys. This is crazy.
It was really fun. It was a lot of fun to do. People just looking at us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that person that when I said they saw those people going like the wettest man in Anvil. It's just like that's just quite a funny idea. It's just quite.
That's a great idea. I like that.
A bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Again, we're going to see 15 wettest men at Anvil holding sticks with eyes and God knows what else. It's going to be
so many of them. So many sticks, so many stones, so many wet people, and so many invisible hats up for sale. The next one. But we've also got Mac and Grimm's Anvil tours coming up.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're selling a tour, and the plan is that we'll get halfway. They'll all go into a bar and we'll walk off. We'll just leave them.
Right.
We're going to abandon them somewhere.
And then you got to try and avoid them for the rest of the night. And if they find you again, you're like, great, you found us. We'll take you to the next bar. Just dump them again, right?
We will just ignore them. It's fine. We can do that. I mean, let's face it. Me and Chris have pretended to be a bench at Empire. So we have done a lot of stuff like that. So it's...
You guys are slightly different heights. How did that work?
Badly. Is the basic way to describe that one. So... Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you can just let your imagination rule, and you can get away with whatever you want to do in game. So, so I said we'd finish at 8:30, so there's 10 minutes to go, and that's normally how long it takes for me to finish a stream. Big question I've asked everybody who comes on stream. So Chris, what is the big thing that you're looking forward to the most when we get back into the field?
I'm still part of the God crew at Empire, and I'm looking forward really to see the faces of the people when they come back and they get pick up their resources, they pick up their things ready for that event. You know, the preparation, the seeing people, the people you haven't seen in 2 years or you probably haven't spoken to, but all of a sudden your best mates in character,
Yeah.
but then you haven't spoken in 2 years because out of character, to be fair, I've forgotten their names, and I'm sure vice versa. So I think that's the big thing for me, is seeing the faces of the people when they come back, having that social element again, and just that level of escapism that, to be fair, I think everybody needs at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting in character and just saying, "Oh, look, there's Trevor, there's Brian, there's Jane." I can't remember.
There's Wolfric.
And
there's Wolfric. There's Wolfric. There's Wolfric.
My God.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know Wolfric.
I don't know
I will say.
single
I love the
Wolfric.
meme. I absolutely love the meme. I saw on Facebook them like what are each nation's greatest exports, and one of them was like dead Wolfrics for Wintermark, and I'm like, that's hilarious.
I don't know a single one.
Yeah.
So
if I die and have to make an interim, it's going to be a Wolfric.
So what about you, Smith? What's your big thing that you're looking forward to the most when we get back into the field?
I think it's kind of similar to what Chris said. I think it's kind of what everyone really feels, is that escapism, and that it's kind of one part escapism, one part socializing, which is, I think, quite interesting, because I don't necessarily think they go hand in hand all the time. They do with games, but yeah, like the escapism for me, definitely, because I think it does something to my brain that just helps reset it a little bit, to just step out of dealing with every minutia of what this person is dealing with right now, and now you're just having to deal with what that person's doing, and you know, you've planned your weekend, so hopefully nothing else is going on in the real world, so you're just there and immersed. And yeah, I mean, it's just such a great game as well, you know. It's just such a fun game to play. I'm really looking forward to going through the Sentinel Gate, and just the first time we're out there again with our weapons like lining up in huge lines, and just that feeling of excitement and that rush is just awesome.
Yeah. I was having a chat with Trot on the 100th stream, or the 1 year, I can't remember. We did 2. And we were saying how everybody should LARP. It's like one of the things that everyone should do once is everybody should LARP. I don't know if he told you this, but because Ross actually came up in conversation while we were chatting away, and because I know Ross has said he'd never do it or anything like that. We actually offered to pay for Ross's ticket so he could come and try it once. So you have to relay that message to him, because I know Chris probably forgot, because his memory is just the worst in the world. But yeah,
he's like a sieve.
Yeah, we would have. Yeah. So the Hefty, we would actually pay for Ross's ticket if he wanted to come to try it once. So yeah, no risk for himself.
I think he'd love it personally. I think already people's reservations and concerns have changed. I was talking to I spoke to Chris for a while the other night when we were talking about A, preparing for this, and B, just general stuff.
You prepared for this? You wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, we were like talking about like what, you know, because we were going to take photos of resources like we did and send them to you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, also, you know, we were just chatting general stuff. But like we were saying about, well, mainly we were talking about how LARP is going more and more mainstream, and I think more and more it will become like an alternative holiday, or at least sort of like, I think that it's morphing and becoming much more like, people are realizing, oh, board games are fun. Oh, escape rooms are fun. Oh, D&D's fun. You know, like, I think more and more people are getting open. There's almost like this sort of journey, I think, you go on, where you start playing board games, then you might start playing or computer games, and you know, you travel along that journey. And I think LARP really is, to me, the closest thing I've found to sort of an MMORPG, like WoW, in person. And for me personally, I know so that might not work for everybody, but for me that's just awesome. So yeah, no, for sure, I think they would enjoy it. I think it's only going to grow and grow and grow as a hobby, which is really exciting, because that means we get bigger sites and more buildings and more funds to do amazing storytelling and communal. I mean, there's just such a great community to LARP as well, even beyond just the traditional ideas of community. The idea that the festival idea, I suppose it is, of thousands of people coming together to work towards one idea and everyone's enjoyment, you know, that's just really cool. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, me too. I think being able to do this, I've spoken to so many people now about LARP, and there's Drachenfest has come up a few times, and I'd love to go over to Germany to do that. There's this,
totally, I'd be super keen.
There's the Viking LARP in Denmark as well, the one that I sent you.
Yeah, where you can rent. Well, I'm guessing you have to be a trained rider, but you can rent a horse in a LARP.
You can rent a horse and you can take a horse to that one as well.
Yeah.
So I'm potentially got something going on with them as well. So there's
nice.
I'm loving the whole concept of it, and trying to explain it to people and just say, difficult to explain. Watch role models, and it's the opposite of that.
Yeah,
and all that sort of crap. But
what's interesting about role models as well is, I think on the whole, the vibe and the feeling that you get out of it is kind of on point, in that like they're just like, hey, this is fun, this is cool, this, like, who gives a shit about what other people think, you know, like just enjoy it and engage in it, like, especially because you know, the whole idea of play and about how people, I think, are waking up to they don't play enough in their later life. They don't exercise that huge part of your brain, which is essentially just playing, like, you know, how you formed. And yeah, I hope that more people get into it, because like I say, it's been a huge mental health thing for me personally. Like, it's just such a great stress reliever, and yeah, just great to have something to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for gifting that sub there, Joel, to Pyrogen. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that, bud. But yeah, it's the whole LARP as a thing away from it. I want to visit LARPs in different countries. So I want to go to, because there's loads in Canada, there's loads in America, and I want to do all these blockbuster LARPs that they do out there. So like, go on a pirate ship. There's prisons. There's one on an actual World War II battleship as well. There's loads of them out there. There are, I mean, obviously with any hobby, no hobby is perfect, and there are issues as well that out there that need to be dealt with, and things like that. So, but yeah, there's loads of stuff to do, and I'm loving looking into it. There's a person, Jasper. They make they have their own YouTube channel, and they do a lot of stuff looking at it all. And we're working on a project where we're going to be looking at all these LARPs from around the world, just because it's huge. It's huge. We found like well over 300 already, and these are all that are still going. There's like the ones in Australia look mental. Absolutely.
Well, they're like wasteland ones, like Mad Max LARPs, or like what sort of LARPs?
Take that.
In what way are they crazy?
Mix Mad Max and Deadwood.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That it's
yeah, cowboy stuff's cool. I really think that looks fun.
It does. There's so much there. It looks absolutely insane. But yeah, so it's 8:30. I said that we'd finish at 8:30 because I don't know if anyone remembers the last time we had Smith on. He had to run very quickly because he had ordered a bloody takeaway for himself, and it was here, so he had to leave. He just left, basically.
Just ran off.
He ran off.
Cheers, everybody.
That was pretty much it. So, yeah, so we'll call the stream there. I'm probably going to do a crafting stream on Friday, and we'll just chill, chat as we normally do, and stuff like that. Thanks for everyone who's donated bits and subs and done all of that. We're still looking at the getting chainmail from Armchair Armories. So, I don't know, got loads to go on it, but yeah, we'll get that done. Because the last time we did one of these, we actually got a 4-meter bell tent for someone to give away, which was...
I know, that was crazy. What a prize, God.
Yeah,
we could have used that as our awning out front.
Yeah, that could have been our tent to put all our wealth in, Steve. All our ludicrous wealth piled up. You could stand outside it with a halberd and look very professional.
Oh, I don't think I'd ever look professional, but you know, the thoughts there though. So thanks so much for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm sure that we'll have you both on again at some point.
Yeah,
at some point, just to chill and
you want to go for a third? You can really take a third one.
Well, Trot's been on for 2.
Right.
Someone was talking about in the Discord, they were comparing both your videos for viewers and views and stuff like that, and it's fairly.
Is Trot more popular?
Trot's
always had more Twitter followers. I know that.
He's had a few more.
think.
He had a few more views and stuff like that. But you're two very different dynamics and stuff like that when it comes to chilling and chatting. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, in that I don't chill.
No, both talk. It's quite fun to talk to you both.
It's interesting because you're chilled as in laid back, but oh my god, you talk.
You don't shut up.
There's a lot to talk about.
I was going to say, Trot's a lot more quiet, but he's a lot more usually quite animated.
Well, this is the thing. Honestly, like I'm not usually an animated or noisy person, but if you get me talking about something I'm interested in, I physically cannot stop myself. So, yeah, you unlock the speech pack. But yeah, no, it's been great, guys. It's been really fun chatting to you guys about this.
We also, I forgot to mention as well, we got the Empire trailer as well that I'm filming as well.
Yeah, when are you doing that? I was waiting for you to let me know about that.
We need to wait for the event. I will get you into the there's a channel for it in the Discord, so we're all gonna go. But we've got lots of professional stuff, people involved in that as well. Now it's insane. But yeah, I need to get everything put out, and then when we actually have an event for Empire, it will be a case of we need to turn up that day before, and it will all be done in
like a day earlier.
So we'll all be done and everything. So we could tie it in if Ross comes and I've paid for his ticket, then he can be in the trailer as well.
This is a new player to Anvil. You can't just put all the Hat Films in the bloody Empire trailer.
Yeah,
we'll cover him in mud.
If that's not pandering, I don't know what is.
I mean, it really is. We're going to attract ire. Like the hell are these guys coming in and being all? Yes, I'm an Empire. Who the hell's this YouTube guy?
At the end of it's. I think Smith, you are the only person who's actually in the trailer. I'm not even in it. Me and Chris are going to do like the Marvel thing at the end of the trailer. So we'll appear. So we'll have all this stuff done, and then we'll be the hidden extra after a trailer. There'll be a little bit of Mac and Grim going on, but that'll be
nice. It's like finding a dead rat under your bed.
Exactly. It's the shit you didn't think you needed in your life.
Or Mac. Yeah.
So we'll do that. So I'm sure if Ross comes along, we can find something. We can have him executed. That'd be hilarious to do.
Yeah, he's just like in the stocks or something. Yeah. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah. He's got a very good peasant vibe to him when he wants to put it on. He's very, very dynamic, I guess you could say.
I thought you were going to say fugly, but we'll go with dynamic too.
No, he does a good peasant. He does a good peasant. That's all I'd say. So does Trot, to be fair.
Yeah, I definitely see that. So, if you two hang around for a second, then I can let you know the two things that we got going on. But everyone, chat, thank you so much for coming along and everything. As I said, this was a quarter of an hour goodbye this time. We did well. But yeah, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy hopefully what's coming to be the end of lockdown. Fingers crossed. And hopefully we'll see each other soon, and we can all go and meet up at Dadford Road Fair, HeftyCon, and we can all do things. Oh, for fuck's sake. So Casual's just raided. Literally the second I'm looking at him.
Wrapping up.
Yeah, wrapping up. Oh, I was
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
You just missed a... What? Why not watch the VOD?
Watch the VOD, yes. Yeah, hi, Casual. How you doing? We're all literally just ending now. But, everyone throw money at me. It's great. Sub, do the thing. Because obviously we're looking at getting Casual to come along to Empire.
That'd be really cool.
I was gonna have a chat with him and say, do you fancy doing a reverse Q&A where he knows nothing, so he literally comes on stream and asks chat all the questions that he wants to know about Empire, and they answer it. Really good. They work really.
Bit of a gamble.
They work quite well. Jesus, Smithy Boy, gifting 5 subs.
Oh,
thank you so much for that. That's awesome. James's gin. Gallon got one. John, Callum, Ian. That's awesome. Yeah, Smithy Boy, thanks so much. I follow command. Excellent stuff. That's awesome. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks for all of that. And I'll have a little chat with these reprobates for a minute because I think they'll quite like it all. And thanks for the bits there as well, Casual. That's awesome. and we'll have a chat. I'll have a chat with you as well at some point. But still, so yeah, thanks everyone. Take care. Much love. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. I'm going to see how long I can keep on talking to keep that face going on Smith's. See how long you can keep that going for. Oh, Scourgy as well. Thanks for following, mate. Is he not turned red yet? Is he going? Oh, he's going to turn as red as
He's
his...
breathing out of his nose. You can see it on his, but you can see it on his
Yeah,
mustache.
he's going to go as red as his beard. He's going as red as his beard. I mean, and that's pretty red as well. You can't. It's like merging into all of his neck folds. He's doing well.
My neck folds. They're not folds. They're rings. I can't do anything about them. There's no.
Say, is
it
like a tree? Is it like a tree? Like, for example, you can tell how old
It
you
is.
are.
It's my age.
Yeah.
I'm
Nearing vein
3 years
popping.
old.
Yeah.
One every 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, I got See, I'm all right because I put on a little bit of weight. Well, I say a little bit. I put on a fuck ton of weight over lockdown. So that's why I grew the beard out even more because you can't see.
You got to get combat fit now. You got to start running up some hills.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was back
and rolling down them.
Well, not actual combat fit. Like run around a field a couple times a day, kind of fit.
No, I'll never be that combat fit again. So, but still, but yeah. Anyway, you all take care. You all look after yourselves. You all stay safe, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye bye.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Bye.